Nicole Pape went out to see how local companies are getting ready to be called out for all those repairs.
Advantage Tree Service owner Matthias Kibe says there are things you can do before the storm to tell whether or not a tree on your property could be a threat.
You can look for cavities, look for sawdust around the base of a tree to tell if you have termite issues or anything like that.
But he's also confident that the trees of the area have stood the test of time.
The trees now have been through pretty severe tests over the past couple of years with ice storms, wind storms, and a hurricane, not to mention we have another one on the way. So I think the weaker trees have been fairly weeded out.
However, each storm is different, and if trees do become an issue, power outages become likely. National Grid is using the history of last year's major storm to plan.
We're going to take some of the lessons that we learned from that and apply them to this as well. So, really right now, what we're doing is making sure that there's crews available. They'll be working really long days, anywhere from 16 to 18-hour days. We're going to bring in extra crews from outside the area. If we see those longer outages. And, it's going to be very, very busy for us.
Concerns pop up anytime there's a storm threat, especially because the conditions to restore power can often be dangerous.
There's a lot of stuff. They work with 13,200 volts up in the air when it's pouring rain. Water and electricity aren't always the best match.
Working long hours and having many needs to fill in the community, procedures and policies are set to make sure repairs run smoothly, but they can only do so much themselves.
We isolate and tag and protect ourselves from all other sources of energy. We're worried about people that don't have generators hooked up properly.
When there are numerous outages, crews don't facilitate the repairs on a first-come, first-served basis.
The first thing that we do is we go out to hospitals and emergency care facilities, make sure they have power, all those critical services.
National Grid follows strict guidelines as to whose power gets turned back on first. So even their own crew, after a long day of making repairs, isn't guaranteed to have their own power back. So if there are outages, just make sure you're prepared. In Del Mar, Nicole Pape, Fox 23 News.